Hey everybody, it's Daniel. Welcome back to my sofa in beautiful Barcelona. Today I wanted to talk a little bit more about saber and conocer. Last week I did a video about saber, which means to know, and I mentioned towards the end that conocer is also to know. So what is the big difference between saber and conocer in Spanish? That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's go. Big difference between saber and conocer is that they talk about different aspects of knowing. Saber is used with a fact or with a learned ability. I gave several examples the other day. I had one that was no sé hablar chino. I don't know how to speak Chinese. We could say Maria no sabe nadar. Both talking about abilities. Maria doesn't know how to swim, an ability. Then we have conocer. The difference is that conocer is to talk about knowing people or places, basically. There's a little bit more to it than that, but you could translate conocer as to be familiar. We use conocer to talk about being familiar with a place, knowing a person, which is different than saber. So I'm going to give you some examples here which make the difference a little bit clearer. Are you ready? Let's go. Saber and conocer in Spanish. First example. No conozco a María. Sé que trabaja en contabilidad. This is, we're in the office and I say, no conozco a María. Sé que trabaja en contabilidad. I don't know Maria, but I know that she works in accounting. In English, both of those would be no, but the no conozco a Maria is I don't know Maria, the person. Sé que trabaja en contabilidad is I know that she works in accounting. That's a fact. So it's a completely different verb in Spanish. When you use a person as the object of a sentence, there's something called the personal a. The personal a is no conozco a Maria. We just need to use that when the person is the object of the sentence. In this case, Maria is the object of my knowing, the grammatical object. Next example. No conozco al novio de Maria. Sé que se llama Marco. I don't know Maria's boyfriend, but I know his name is Marco. No conozco al novio de María. Sé que se llama Marco. In this case, no conozco al novio. That's the personal a with the el thing. You just put those two together. A, el, al. No conozco al novio de María. I don't know Maria's boyfriend. Sé que se llama Marco. His name is a fact about him, which I know. So that's, once again, sé. Remember the accent on sé. That's important too. ¿Conoces Nueva York? This is very common in Spanish when we're talking about a place. ¿Conoces Nueva York? We ask, do you know the place? Using this verb. In English, we don't use know with a place very much. We might say, I've been to New York. Sí, conozco Nueva York. I've been to New York. When I'm teaching English to Spanish speakers, it's always difficult to get them to understand that I have been to New York is just the simple verb conocer that we complicated a bit in English. So, ¿conoces Nueva York? Sí, conozco Nueva York. Later, we have conozco un buen restaurante cerca de aquí. This is also a place. This is I am familiar with a place. Conozco un buen restaurante cerca de aquí. I know a good restaurant close to here. I promised in my last video not to tell you lots of detail about every single verb, but a minor detail about conocer is that in first person it's conozco. Yo conozco, tú conoces. Él conoce. The SCO verbs. I don't know, my Spanish teacher back in high school used to call them SCO verbs. They're like this category of verbs that have this extra Z or something that appears in first person singular. So when I say conozco un buen restaurante cerca de aquí, I guess otherwise it would be conozco, which is nothing, conozco. So yeah, it's just an irregular conjugation. Conozco un buen restaurante cerca de aquí. In the past, conocer is another thing. In the past, conocer is to meet someone. So we could say, conocí a mi mujer cuando vivíamos en Madrid. I met my wife when we lived in Madrid. I am not fully on board with calling my wife mi mujer. I don't know, it just sounds sort of antiquated and weird to me, but that's the official way of doing it around Spain. Officially, I learned the word esposa and esposo a long time ago, but I don't know a lot of people who use that here in Spain. Maybe in Latin America that's more common. In Spain, it's marido and mujer. So, conocí a mi mujer cuando vivía en Madrid. Cuando vivíamos en Madrid. If I said cuando vivía en Madrid, the sentence is still okay. It's just not clear if she lived in Madrid, I lived in Madrid. Cuando vivíamos en Madrid, we both lived in Madrid. Okay, so that is conocí, that is the past simple, the preterite, as I promised to start calling it, the preterite conocí. And yeah, the preterite of conocer is to meet. Another example, María conoció a Marco en la universidad. We're still using the personal a here. María conoció a Marco en la universidad. María met Marco at university. So that's pretty simple. Conoció. There's lots of other conjugations. I'm not going to get into it for reasons that I explained in my previous video, The Truth About Spanish Verbs. You should watch that if you're interested in learning the truth about Spanish verbs. Anyway, final couple of examples today. ¿Sabes si Pilar está casada? Do you know if Pilar is married? ¿Sabes si Pilar está casada? That's a fact. Whether or not she is married is a fact, so we're using saber. Then the response, sí, está casada, pero no conozco a su marido. Yes, she's married, but I don't know her husband. You could say anything you wanted here. Yes, she's married, but I don't know the name of her husband. Sí, está casada, pero no sé el nombre de su marido. Just saber, conocer, depending on what you're trying to express. Sí, está casada, pero no conozco a su marido. I don't know her husband. I'm not familiar with him personally. So, saber for facts and learned abilities, and conocer for people and places that we are familiar with. If you're learning Spanish, there's kind of a list of these things that you need to know. Por and para are both for. What's the difference? I have no idea. I learned it a long time ago and I kind of use it probably correctly. I'll do that lesson eventually. I've got to do some research first. Por and para. There's also ser and estar, where ser is more of a permanent situation and estar is more of a temporary situation, but there are exceptions, of course. So we'll talk about those points another day. For now, I hope you stick with the Spanish learning. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Subscribe to my channel and give me a like for much, much more. I've also got a podcast, Spain to Go. Spain to Go, the best podcast in the entire multiverse for all things Spain. I have about 85 episodes of that. I'll be making more soon. I have some people who are very happy when I make a new episode, and I try my best to get something out with regularity. That's Spain to Go. It's here on YouTube, and it's also on every podcast platform, I think. If you enjoy these lessons, please go to expatmadrid.com/donate. You can donate to the cause here. Happy to receive some assistance in keeping everything free. I do this because I like it. I have another business that actually earns money teaching English to Spanish-speaking people. However, I do enjoy teaching Spanish as well, so I'm kind of doing this for free for now because it's fun and, lets me be in contact with my people back in America, as they call it. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this lesson, and please leave me a comment if you have any questions about Spanish you'd like me to answer. Comments right down here. Have a great day. Bye.